So, a walk around the Pagan to show you how I've done it. It's a standard cb750 f2. It's a 78 model. I've got two extra oil lines feeding the camshaft because it just gets ridiculously hot and it seizes up on me, so I've put some extra oil on it. Here's the oil pressure gauge. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, there we go. I've color coded my carburetors, which makes it easy because here I've got some hoses. When I synchronize my carburetors, see, they're all color coded, which makes it much more easy. This one, this line here, is the oil return, which acts as, I can pump it round, so it acts as a cooler. And the top pipe is the oil level, which you can see when it runs. When the engine's running, it'll pump back the oil back into the tank, which is here. There's my oil filler cap, and this is a piston I fucked up earlier, and the exhaust, and this is my chain lubrication system, patent pending. There's a battery box. That's the turbo. So let's start at the beginning. The turbo is very close to the exhaust because I didn't want any pressure loss, so that's why it's so close. Then the compressed air comes from this pipe and then goes to the 4 carburetors, which are just stock carburetors. The only problem I've had with them is that you have to it takes a lot of patience and time to get the jets figured out. I've used plenty of jets, and I am now running the 130 jets, which for this setup work. The other pipe goes up and pressurizes the tank. So the tank and the carburetors will have the same pressure, and the only pressure difference is the height difference. The other thing we've got is the blow-off valve here, which is opened by the vacuum created when you close the throttle. It's created by the first carburetor. Let's see if I can get it on. No. Let's shed a light on this. There we go. There. See, that there is where I take my vacuum from to open the blow-off valve. Now to the oil. I've got this pipe, which is the oil pipe for the turbo, and the oil flow is regulated by this tie wrap, and the tighter it is, the less oil the turbo gets. And then here, let's make a light there. These two pipes, this one and that one, are the two pipes that, as you can see there, I've just drilled holes in the valve, what do you call that? Valve casing, I guess, to give the camshafts some extra oil. Then I've got a crossover pipe here, because the pressure, the oil pump, I'll show you, it's there, this thing, it's a 12 volts oil pump. The pressure it makes is too high, so I put most of it, I just pump it round. It just comes here, goes down and goes back to the tank, which acts as cooling, which is good. And then the extra oil just goes here into the turbo. The return oil line is here, and it goes there. I'll show you on top. There. I've got two tie wraps here, a red one and a green one. You see the oil is close to the green tie wrap, which means it's full. So now I can see my oil levels without having to start the engine. And it just goes back there. Well, there we go. Into the oil pan. Well, let's see, what else can I tell you? Yeah, nothing really. As I said, the carburetors are stock. I haven't changed anything to except for the jets, that is. Yeah, that's it really. Yep, there is the oil tank. The big pipe is the exhaust. That goes there. And there's the oil pump, 12 volts. Oh yeah. The air receiver, which you see here, is also connected to the carburetors. The overflow is also pressure equalized, because I've connected them to the air receiver. You see, I've made the bolts longer on the carburetors, so makes it easier to change jets. So I can change jets without removing the carburetors. Yeah. And here's the pipe, the exhaust from the turbo, which is very big, because I didn't want any pressure building up in the exhaust system. But as it goes along and it cools down, it gets smaller and smaller, and by this time it's cold enough just to stick it through a regular exhaust and then through a damper out the end. Okie dokie. Well, that's it then. Thanks for the mills.